everybody, so welcome to yoga class. We're going to get into a nice seated position, whatever position is good for you, and we're just going to concentrate on our breathing for the first part of class. You don't have to sit like this unless you want to. It's really up to you. And we're just going to breathe in and set our intention for the rest of the class today. As we breathe in and breathe out, and remember all the positivity that we're taking in and taking all the negativity out. And we're setting our intentions for ourselves and for anyone else that is out there. It's up to you as you do your practice for today. Relax and breathe before we get into our first yoga position. Alright, now we're going to lay on our backs, and we are going to take the right leg and bring it into our chest, and we're going to flex the foot, keep the foot flexed, and we're going to circle the leg, as you guys can see here, as we're opening up the hip flexors. And we're just getting all the muscles. I'm pointing to the hip flexor here. We're just getting all the muscles worked out here. Sorry, I was supposed to go the other way, but you guys can go the other way. But if you want to continue to go the same way like I'm doing, go ahead. I meant to go in the other direction, so that's my fault. But it's okay. It's all good. It's still opening up the hip flexors, but just try to keep the foot flexed because we're trying to engage all the muscles. Here we're going to open up the hip flexors even more. This is kind of a new pose. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I want to introduce this here just to open up the hip flexors a little bit more. Keep your foot flexed, and we're going to flex and point the foot, flex and point the foot. We're going to spread the toes, and we're going to rotate the ankle as we are activating the muscles in the foot. All right, now we're going to take the left leg, and we're going to do the same thing. Keep the foot flexed, and we're going to open our hip flexors on this side. Remember, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side with yoga, because you have to be balanced and remain balanced. And I was listening to the something on my iPad, so yeah, that's why I'm moving my lips. Right, we're going to do the same thing like we did on the other side. We're going to open up the hip flexors. Again, you don't have to do this one if you don't want to. If you're uncomfortable with doing this one, that's fine. Just introducing it to you guys. Then we're going to point and flex the foot, and we're going to circle the ankle. Oh, I didn't circle it. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take both legs in, and we're going to roll up into a ball, and we're going to move back and forth. We're going to massage the spine just a little bit. Then we're going to open up the hip flexors even more, and we're going to do this type A pose, and this is just to open up the hip flexors and activate more of the muscles. And we're going to do it in another direction. So if you can do this, go ahead. If you can't, that's fine. It was kind of hard for me to do it in another direction, but I kind of managed to do it. So do what you can. Yoga, remember to listen to your body. Remember to breathe. So now we're going to stretch everything out. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Elongate your body. Stretch, point your toes. And we're going to bring the right leg in, and we're going to bring it off to the side. We're going to bring our right arm over, and we're going to get a nice gentle twist of the spine as we look over to the other side, just to get that nice twist. Then we're going to take the other leg and do the same thing. Bring it over to that side, and we're going to look the opposite direction and try to bring your arms into a T. And if your leg can't get all the way to the floor, all the way where my leg is, that's fine. Do what you can. Alright, so we're going to do windshield wipers. We're going to bring the legs from side to side. Again, this is helping with the hip flexors, and it's also helping with other things as well, as far as like your legs, muscles in the legs. And you're just continuing to breathe. Remember to breathe as you're doing certain yoga positions. Okay? And we're going to do a further stretch. If you can do this, if you want a further stretch, you can bring your other leg on top of your other leg if you can. If you can't, that's fine. We're just stretching even further. So we're going to do the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. But if you can't, just leave your legs regular, or just lay there in a straight position and meditate for a little bit. It's really up to you. Do what you can. Right now we're going to roll into a ball again, and then we're going to rock back and forth to massage the spine once again. We're going to bring our legs up, and if you guys can do this, go ahead. If you can't, that's fine. This helps with a lot of the circulation. You could bring them here, or you could bring your legs here. It depends wherever you want to do, or you go up against a wall so you can help with that if your legs are too tired to do this. But it's really up to you. This is just help with the circulation. Keep your core engaged. You know, try to suck it in a little bit if you can. And that's what I'm trying to do. But if you can't, that's fine. But remember to breathe at the same time. I know there's a lot of instructions, but we can do it. Okay, we can do it, y'all. All right. So we're going to be here for a minute. Remember to breathe. All right. So now we're going to take our yoga strap or whatever that you have, and that's a modified position. You can bring your leg down if you like to get more of a stretch. And I'm going to bring this all the way around town. If you can, go ahead. Or you could do mini circles like I'm doing here, or you could do wide circles that I'm doing here. You can use a yoga belt or a resistant band or a scarf or a towel. It's really up to you. You don't have to use what I'm using if you don't have it, if it's not available to you. And just because it's not available to you doesn't mean you can't do it. So you can use other things around your house, okay? So I am opening up my legs wider, going around and around, and I'm going in the opposite direction. This is really opening up the hip flexors, and this also helps with, you know, getting into your splits. So if you can do it, do it. If you can, if your body says no, please stop. Please. Don't want anybody going to the hospital or urgent care. I say this all the time, okay? Marquita tells you to listen to your body. Please do not force, just like with this one. Okay, you don't have to do this. I am a little stiff right here, but it's okay. But please do not force anything. If you cannot do this, that's fine. Do not force. I'm going to bring it over to the side. Do the same thing, but with a straight leg. Okay, I didn't have enough room. Do what you can. Remember that. Now we're going to do the other leg, the opposite leg. Okay, do a small circle if you can. If not, you know, so we're gonna do a wide circle around. It's a little awkward on this side because of the background, but it's okay. Again, do what you can. Remember to breathe. Take it easy. Take it easy. Today we are mostly doing floor exercises, or stretches. So this is not an intense yoga class today. Well, we're doing planks, but you know. All right, so just continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. Engage your core if you can. I'm trying to at the same time. And remember to breathe, engage the core, and do this, do that. I know it's a lot, but let's try. All right, y'all. Okay. Get that nice stretch. This definitely helps with splits. All right, so we're going to take the right leg and we'll do it again. All right, bring it around town again. All right, we really want to open up them hip flexors. Mine were a little tight, so I was like, let's do this again. So we're doing this again for the second time around. All right. If you do not want to do this for the second time around, you can sit there and lay there and wait until the next pose, or you can lay in child's pose. Hopefully you know what the child's pose is, because I did not show it yet, but you could go into that, or you could just lay on your back and just wait until we get into the next pose. So we're just basically doing the same thing. All right, now we're going to bring the legs down, bring them up, bring them down. I'm going to rock back and forth with the straight leg. I don't know. I just thought about this right on the spot. So we just going to roll with it. All right. I like to have fun with yoga. So let's just have fun with it. Alright, so we are done with the yoga strap, y'all. Alright, we're going to stretch everything out. Point the toes, stretch your whole body out. Okay. Now we're going to rock back and forth, and cross your legs if you can. And we're going to get into a seated position, and we're going to do a forward fold, and we're going to fold from the waist, as you guys can see, and we're going to bend going all the way down to touch our toes. If you can, try to keep the back straight. If you can do, as you guys can see, if you can't get to your toes, you could go to your leg. Your back, try to have it straight as you can. Do not be hunched over. And you're just going to continue to be here, and you're going to breathe. Alright, so now we're going to take our right leg, and we're just going to bring it and put our foot flexed onto our other thigh, and we're just going to get a nice stretch. Again, opening up the hip flexors and just getting a nice stretch in the legs. If you can do this, go ahead. If you can't, that's fine. This also is a good way to kind of practice for the tree pose, like the advanced tree pose. So yeah, then we're going to take a little stretch here, fold it forward. If you can, if it's in your yoga practice, go ahead. If not, that's fine. But just a little stretch onto the side. Then we're going to do the other side. Of course, what we do on one side, we must do to the other side. So do the same exact thing. And we're going to stretch. Alright, now we're going to get into tabletop pose, and we're going to take a few cat and cows. Please keep your stomach engaged, and we are going to do a few cat and cows. Please remember to breathe. Remember, your hand has to be like suction cups on the mat, and we're going to continue to breathe as we do these cat and cows. Okay, remember to breathe and engage your core as much as possible. Okay, now we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg. And we're going to bring it in, bring it out, and bring it in, bring it out. I'm going to do the other side and do the same exact thing. Gonna take a few cat and cows and remember to breathe. Now we're going to get into the safe pose. This is child's pose. I call this a safe pose. And this is, and you also, if you want to alleviate any pressure, you can roll your wrists if you like. All right. And you can open your knees or you can close them for child's pose. It's really up to you, but I like to open mine because it's more comfortable for me. And it's just basically like your safe pose, your reset pose. You go into this pose when you are feeling tired and you need a rest or a break. You would definitely go into this pose. Okay. So remember that when you're doing your yoga practice. And we're just taking a breather here. And we're going to get into puppy pose. Now we're going to get into Sphinx Pose a little bit, okay? And then we're going to do a cobra, okay? Make sure your hands and everything is close to your body. And we're going to move side to side a little bit. Then we're going to get into downward facing dog. Hold your stomach in. Make sure your hands are open, wide. And we're going to do a downward dog split and bring it in. My favorite yoga exercise. Yoga. Okay, we're going to bend the leg and then we're going to go to the glutes and bring it back down. If you can't do this, that's fine. Same thing on the other side. Whatever we do on one side, we must do to the other side. And remember to breathe and to engage your core if you can. I know it's a lot, but let's try. All right, go on our tippy toes as you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Bring it down a little bit. We're engaging the legs. Now we're going to get into plank. Okay. Make sure you're engaging your core. Put your right leg up, your left leg up if you can. And I'm going to go into knees, chest, and chin. Okay. The other ones I'm going to go into chaturanga. So we're just going to do these planks. If you can't do these planks, that's fine. Just try to do your best. Do the best that you can. And this is just to help, strengthen your arms, your legs, and try to engage that core as much as you can. And just hang in there. You'll be okay. If you only do one, that's fine. You don't have to do a whole bunch. Alright, so now we're in our child's pose, our reset button pose, our safe pose, okay? And we're going to rotate the wrist to alleviate any type of pressure that you may have. You don't have to do this unless you would like to, but this does help. Back into child's pose. Alright, now you're going to take your yoga strap and then we're going to basically try to go into this pose if we can. And we're going to go into seated position, and it's just basically to see if you can touch your other hand, your hands together, like, you know, cup your hands together if you can. If you can't, that's fine. You can hold it like this, and this is a nice stretch for your shoulders and your arms. Very, very nice stretch to do. Okay, I'm going to show you my other side where I can reach my other hands, because that side I have a hard time, and certain sides, you know, one side is better than the other side. It's always like that in yoga. So this side is good for me, so I'm able to touch, so you guys will see in a few. But if you can't, just use the strap and continue to do your stretch. You don't have to touch. Your hands do not have to touch right now. You can work on it and you will get there. Okay, as you guys can see, I let go of the belt and my hands were able to touch. So it's really up to you and your body. Listen to your body. Remember that. Remember to breathe. Alright, I'm going to take a breather here. Okay, now we are going to go into child's pose. Okay, reset everything. And then we're going to do a small vinyasa, which is a nice mini flow. If you can, do whatever vinyasa that you will like. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. Just meet me back at child's pose, or just stay in child's pose if we're already there. It's really up to you. Now, before we get into Savasana, I'm going to do a pose before I get into that. You can do whatever pose that you like. I'm going to do a legit lunge. Do not do this if you can't do this, please, Lord. But I'm going to do this. You can try this at a later date, but this is the pose that I'm going to do. I'm going to do a lizard lunge. Please, if you cannot do this, do not do this, okay? I don't want you guys hurting yourselves. But this is the pose that I'm doing before I get into Savasana. You can do whatever you want, even if it's just child's pose. Do whatever your body tells you to do. I was a little stiffer on that side, but that's cool. Okay. All right. So we're going to bring our palms up and our feet is going to be falling to the sides. And we are going to fall into Savasana as our body continues to breathe and our breathing continues to slow down as we close our eyes, as we let everything seal in from the practice from today. And as we let our body rest, let our body melt into the floor or into the mat, as our mind starts to float on, and as our body continues to relax, as our body remembers our intention that we set for the yoga practice for today, and whatever positivity that we let in and whatever negativity that we let out. We're just going to continue to breathe as our mind is quiet. We're going to wiggle our fingers and we're going to wiggle our toes as our body comes back to reality, and turn our head from side to side as we turn our body to one side. And as we're going to lift up very slowly so we can end the class. Alright, so now that we are in a seated position, now we are going to bring our hands at heart center. And we're going to end the class in the sound of Om on the second breathe out. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out. And on second breathe out, we are going to end the class in the sound of Om. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Thank you for coming to class with me today. I hope you have set your intention for the rest of the night, and hope you have a good night's sleep or good day's sleep whenever you're watching this. And I hope that you let all the positivity in and block all the negativity out, and that you came back to reality and starting off with a fresh new start for the day. And I thank you for coming through, and have a blessed one. Namaste.